Hey guys, this is Odd1 Gaming. This is going to be another King Arthur Legends Rise video. In today's video, I'm gonna do my best to try and do the best that I can for an ultimate beginner's guide. So pretty much everything you're gonna need to know and keep an eye out for in the first few weeks, because as you're gonna progress along, you're gonna learn more things yourself. However, there are some key things that you definitely need to be aware of when it comes to like resources, shops, what to advance and whatnot, and that's all I'm gonna do today, right? It might be a little bit of a longer video because there's obviously gonna be a ton to cover, so I'm gonna try and do my best to be as short with them, but as explicit as I possibly can. Now, before we jump into that, I just want to mention there's gonna be a link in the description of this video and the pinned comment where this is like, a content creator program that the King Arthur has, and pretty much if you want to support me, or I guess if you don't like me and any other content creator, you can go on their website, you can just register, you can add a creator ID, which for me it's going to be Odd1, right, just like my name says. And if you add there, pretty much if you do any purchases, I'm gonna be getting a percentage of that. So it doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me out. And the more supporters I have, the more giveaway I will personally have to kind of give back to my community. Now, when it comes to the code, again, I just want to quickly show you this. It's this one over here, Odd1, just like that. And then you're gonna appear as one of my supporters. I'm not sure if this one's exactly here yet, but just want to mention this in case you're watching this later in the future. As of today, global launch, this one's not completely active, but just keep an eye on it, and if you want to support, I would appreciate it, because this is my full-time job. This is how I feed my family, pay my bills, all that. Now, another quick thing I want to mention is, maybe if you watch this later in the future, I have a website, which again, once I have the website live, when I'm gonna have tier lists, article information, everything I need from King Arthur, I'm gonna have that link added to this video. Is gonna be there, but as of today, Wednesday 27th of November, it's not quite done yet. Once it's done, I'm gonna have the link. Now, enough of that, let's jump into the video, right? So let's talk about it, because there's quite a few things to cover. I obviously have quite a few levels. I'm level 53. The reason for this is the game has been in early access for like 29 days already. As you can see over here, I started one day later. I'm day 28. So this one has been in early access, which means I've been able to play a little bit, and honestly, I've been able to learn things, because it's the first time I've ever played King Arthur, as I didn't play during the beta. But one thing to keep in mind is I've been playing completely free to play. I've not spent one single dollar in this game, and I plan to continue playing the same, so I have the content to be as relatable as possible. Now, let's start talking about content and what you should focus on. I guess the number one most important thing to talk about is going to be the story, right? So the main story is really important, because obviously you go through the story, you see the story, cinematics, all that, you start advancing, you start getting rewards. But one really important thing to keep in mind about the story is that this is your number one priority in the game, right? Up until you hit stage 5-7 hard and you beat that, this should be your number one priority. The reason why I'm saying that is because if you don't progress, you're not gonna unlock a lot of areas of the game. As an example, if you beat stage 5-7, you're going to be able to unlock power-up dungeons, some stuff that allows you to level up your relics, right? Such as like the Seal Temple over here, and then also equipment dungeons that allows you to farm keepsakes. So that's why I'm saying beating campaign is really important. That should be your number one focus. Now, when I talk about beating campaign, I don't mean 3-starring it. Right? Early on, it's gonna be, maybe once you get to like stage 3, chapter 3, you might start getting stuck, or you might not be able to completely 3-star. It does not matter. I know that we might be used from other games to try and be efficient and 3-star from the beginning. However, you don't need to do that in order to unlock areas of the game. Just beat it and just keep advancing little by little by little. And then later on, once your characters are better developed, then you can come back, 3-star those stages and get all the amazing rewards. Now, if you want to connect the campaign with something else, it's really important. Let me move myself a bit. You will want to follow this, right? The Royal Road. You start off with the Path of Honor, then you're going to get Path of Power, and then Path of Challenges. So, obviously, you're going to follow along and do what it says over here, right? Clear campaign 2427, and all that. As you're slowly going to be doing this, you're going to keep getting more rewards, you're going to keep getting more good stuff, and then, obviously, you're going to know what you should be focusing on, right? By following these, it's a pretty good guideline on what you should actually focus. Now, when we're talking about campaign, I guess let's talk about something else. Let's talk about summons, right? Because Obviously, you're gonna start getting summons as you progress through the game, just, you know, as rewards, as daily missions and all that. So you might be like, okay, how should I summon? What I should summon on? Well, there's quite a few things to cover over here, because we have the rate up summons, we have the normal summons, for which you get 3 free ones every day. You have special summons, and then you have the 3 relic ones, right? The flame, frost, and storm ones. When it comes to rate up summons, from my point of view, I would never summon on this one unless you can guarantee that you can hit 60, because otherwise this kind of like pity does not carry over if it resets. So I would always save up, unless you're a spender, obviously, then, you know, go ahead. But if you're somebody that plays free to play or low spend and you don't have too many summons, only summon if you can get 60 of these. Now the normal summons, you can just go all in whenever you want. Special summons, pretty much the same thing. Just go ahead and pull everything that you want. Now, when we're moving over to the relics, well, when it comes to relics, my advice is to always summon only when you have a 10 pull. I don't have, you know, anybody that told me that they did or they did not get a rare by doing single summons or not, but you want to guarantee that you do a 10 pull, because only from what it says here, right, it might always happen, I haven't seen it, but you always get a rare flame relic if you do a 10 pull. So just wait with those. When you have a 10 pull, then do it, so you can guarantee a flame one. Otherwise, you might just be getting only uncommons, and you definitely do not want that. It's the same thing for the frost one, it's the same thing about the storm ones. So that's the summoning and that's the relics. Now, I guess let's talk a little bit about the characters, right? You're going to be summoning, you're going to be getting stuff. Well, I'm still in the process of doing the tier list, as I mentioned, but as soon as it's ready, it's going to be posted in the description, to you know, as a link to my website, as I will be working with this on this with hopefully with my whole cluster to try and make it as efficient as possible. But for the beginning, you might be like, who should I focus on? Well, I have a video which I'm gonna link at the end of this, so I'm gonna post it over here, where I've said the 9 rares that I personally believe everybody should focus on or worth focusing on. But in the beginning, you're gonna be safe if you're gonna focus on Tristan, that we get for free. If you're gonna focus on Morgan, that everybody gets for free, then Kay is a really good damage dealer, right? An AoE damage dealer, and then just get 1 healer. If you get Sarah or Clementine, they're one of the best ones to focus on. If not, Isolde is really good, or if you don't manage to get any of them, just get Turin as well, right? Just get Turin, start leveling her up, but if you pull somebody better in the meantime, I would only keep Turin at level 50. But you're gonna eventually need to build everybody anyway, so if you end up 6-starring Turin, it's not gonna be a bad thing. Now, the reason why I believe Kay is really good is because, well, she has an amazing AoE hit in her base relic, and this one's gonna help you a ton, especially in campaign where you're gonna need to do a lot of damage, right? You're gonna need to do a lot of damage, take them down, so having somebody like a Kay build is gonna help. Obviously, if you're gonna pull better legendaries, right? If you're gonna pull Bedivere, then you're gonna build him. However, another important tip, when it comes to leveling up your characters and building them up, do keep in mind that the resources needed for leveling up, and especially for advancing, it's cheaper if they're lower rarity, right? All rarities in this game are common, uncommon, rare, and legendary. So legendaries, for example, let me see if I can find one that I have level 50. Okay, there we see. A legendary cost me 50 of the mythic mana orbs to get to 6-star, which is insane amount. But then if you look at the rare, it's only half, 25. So at the beginning, in the first, in the first few days, you are better off to just 6-star 2-3 rares before you start leveling up your legendaries, right? You're gonna be more efficient, they're gonna be strong enough to help you progress through the other areas of the game, and then, once you start farming more of the Plane of Beasts, you're gonna start leveling up your legendaries. Now let's talk about another area that's really important, and it kind of connects everything into the game, and that's the city builder part of it, right? As we can see over here, we have castle. I have castle level 11, but when you go to upgrade, it pretty much tells you what you need to do in order to advance to the next, to the next level of the castle. So you can pretty much unlock all the areas: the fountain, the forge, Mage Tower, Relic Forge, steel mill, and then lumber mill, so all of that. So always keep an eye on the castle. Again, the railroad is gonna help you, the path of power is gonna tell you what you should do, what you should build, and all that. It's gonna, pretty much keep you on track with what you need to do. So always follow along with that. And connected to this is going to be the adventure mode, right? These are sometimes a little bit complicated and a little bit tricky, but definitely go and check my channel because I have videos on them. So I currently had one that I made about chapter 1 and 2 with a map and everything. But again, once my website is going to be live, I'm going to have a page for these as well. And also my wife, Susie Plays, she has a dedicated video on every single one of these. So as soon as she's done these, I'm going to have them on the website with a link to her YouTube channel, so you can go check it out. And you know, in case you're stuck something, she's gonna help you out with that. And the way that the adventure is connected, it gives you certain things to do, it gives you a ton of rewards, and you definitely want to keep an eye on these. But there are certain ones where you need specific champions to be built. If you don't have those, just ignore it, move on to the next one, and come back later to do it, because you do not want to stop your progress just by building those ones. You can still finish the chapter. It's still gonna unlock this part of the castle, of the building part of the game, so do not worry about that. Now let's move over, I guess, to some other areas. Stead mill and lumber mill, pretty straightforward. You level these up, they produce steel and lumber as you go through the game, and these ones are used for building up stuff, but they're also used for crafting. So I guess since we're talking about crafting, let's look at the forge. The forge has 3 spots. This one gives you equipment, okay, and stuff to forge. With this one's pretty straightforward. Depending on the level that you are, if you see that you can easily farm what you see here in the forge, then do not, don't buy it. Don't buy it. Just, buy whatever you see it's not as easy to farm, and then move on. As an example, I cannot farm mythic ones. I'm gonna buy these. If I'm gonna see the moon-shaped one, I don't remember how it's called, I'm gonna buy it because that's gonna help me forge the gear sets. So this is the gear side of it. Then you have the change stats. This one's a bit tricky because I'm gonna do more detailed guides on these, but this one's tricky because it changes one at random. You can unlock it, so be aware when you're doing this. And then we're talking about equipment crafting. Well, this one, again, I'm gonna have to do a full dedicated video on it. I have to go, perfectly through every single piece of set, but just to make it short and clear, from my point of view, at least early on, from what I've seen in the first 29 days, the best set is gonna be Vigor set, right? Try to forge as much as you can out of this one, because this one's gonna be one of the most useful ones. And then after that, I'm gonna go through the other ones in a different video. But for the beginning, if you can, try to craft the Vigor one, because this one's really good. And then I guess speed can be really good, critical set, accuracy if you need effect accuracy, and then some life set as the 2-piece to complete everything else. Do keep in mind they use different, right? They use different resources to farm different sets, and different resources to farm the chest, the helmet, chest, and boots, and then different ones for the ring, earrings, and then necklace, okay? And since we are talking about the gear, keep in mind the helmets, chest plates, and the boots, they always have the same base stats, right? The main stat is always going to be the same. Let me show you exactly what they are going to be. So when we're looking at helmets, base is always going to be flat attack. When we're looking at chest plate, base will always be defense, flat. And then we're looking at boots, this one will always be main stat, flat HP, right? Doesn't matter how much you forge, they're always going to have the same main stat. The substats is a different story. Now let's move over, I guess, from here. Let's move over to Mage Tower. So Mage Tower, this one pretty much allows you to level up certain, resources that you're gonna need. I wouldn't go too crazy on these unless you see that you have an excessive amount of these resources. Then yeah, you're gonna go ahead and do it. And then quickly talking about the alchemy, same thing over here. You can level up some of these, but I wouldn't use it too much early on, just use it a lot later. However, the daily perks, these ones are 100% worth it because you get 5 times the value of these ones. So you will 100% want to do everything in the Mage Tower. Now the Stonemasons workshop, pretty simple. You don't do nothing, just upgrade it once, and it's going to allow you to have 2 buildings leveled up at the same time. Then Relic Forge is pretty much where you can go and level up your relics, advance, awaken, skill up. So nothing too nothing too complex to talk about it. Now let's move over to the marketplace, because this one's going to be a bit tricky, and this one changes depending on the level that you are at. So what do I mean by this? As an example, early on, as long as you have enough gold, and keep in mind gold is extremely important in this game because you pretty much use gold almost everywhere in the game, and you're gonna run out of gold a lot, okay? Keep that in mind. But early on, almost everything that you see in this shop, you're going to be wanting to buy it, right? Even though it costs you a lot of gold, you're going to want to buy it because, well, you're going to need a lot of it so you can keep advancing your account. But once you start farming, once you start leveling up, once you're going to start and see that you're going to have, you know, a ton of these resources, or you see that you unlock areas where you can easily farm them, you're not going to want to waste the gold anymore. You're just going to go and farm them. So for example, for me, the rare mana orb, the fairy stones, the brooch, I'm not going to be buying these anymore because even though I only have 2, I can go and just farm them, and it's cheaper for me to farm them than use the gold on these, okay? Now, some things that are going to have exceptions are going to be the tomes and the talismans, right? These are resources that are limited, okay? What do I mean by that? Well, once you're gonna unlock those certain dungeons, you only have like 5 uses per day in one or the other, okay? Let me show you exactly what I mean. If you go over to restricted area, if you go over to Seal Temple, you're gonna see hero skill up, hero skill level up, and then relic skill level up. If I go ahead and fight, you see that I only have 5 attempts per day. So that's why I'm saying you're gonna always want to buy all of these from the shops whenever you see them, at least from the uncommon or higher, up until at least you know you have everything leveled up. If you're gonna see that you finish leveling up all of your uncommons, relics, then stop. You're not gonna buy it. Same things for the what are they called, for the talismans. If you finish leveling up all of their passives, then you're not gonna buy them anymore because obviously there's gonna be no use for them. Now, other things that you might want to buy from here are gonna be continue to buy are gonna be stuff that's a discount, but specifically things that you cannot easily farm. That's, you know, that's the easiest way to put it. If you can easily farm it, don't buy it, as gold is really, you know, limited. If you can't farm it, then absolutely buy everything. Now let's talk about some other shops in the game, and I guess quickly go through them. I don't want to, you know, spend too much time on what you should buy, but let's start with the clan one. First thing, you want to make sure you want to click this clan tab every single day because you want to have the clan attendance. If one person in your clan doesn't, you know, click this one day, you're losing out on a special summon every single day, and that's important. You do not want to do that. You're obviously going to have, you know, check clan members. There's going to be some clan raid where you fight. And with this one, something's really important. When they have, you know, side arms, legs, whatever they're called, always kill those and do damage to those ones as well, because you want to do as many points as you possibly can. And also, I guess, keep an eye on the conditions, right? You have certain conditions. Try to use the conditions that, you know, take advantage of the conditions that you see over here to get the maximum points, so that when you finish, you know, at the end of the week, you rank up higher. Now, let's go to the shop, like I mentioned, the clan shop. Keep in mind that they have certain things that are weekly, but others that are once per account. So when you're deciding to spend on something, look at this and see, what do I need to buy, right? What do I need to buy daily? What do I need to buy weekly? What's going to be more important? As an example, pedestal might be one of those ones that you might want to buy every single week because they're used for awakening your characters, and they are a little bit limited. So this is one of the things that you 100% want to buy. And then obviously after that, you're going to choose on which relics you want to get, but you can slowly get these over time. Now let's move over to the next one. Let's move over to the arena shop, okay? The arena shop, again, pretty straightforward. You see that certain things are weekly, but then you have other things that, most of the things here are weekly, but some are daily. Honestly, I wouldn't buy the XP because you're going to get to the point where you have so much XP that you're not going to need it. And then when it comes to the weekly ones, the number one thing I would say is buy this. Frost Relic Summon Ticket. They are 10 weekly, and the thing is, these relics summoning tickets are extremely rare. You only get 10 per week in this one, 10 per week in like 2 other shops, so you always want to buy them because you want to have as many chances to get different relics as possible. And if we look, for example, in the, I think it's in the clan shop, let me double check again, the other one that has yep, see, this one has the Storm Relic. So Clan Shop has Storm Relic tickets, 10 every week. Then the Arena Shop has the Flame ones, or was it the Frost ones, 10 per week. Again, you want to buy them because they're really hard to get. And then the last one is going to be the Fire ones, which are going to be in the Forbidden Dungeon. And this one's a bit tricky because, you know what, it's really hard to find where's the Forbidden Dungeon shop, or it's not as straightforward. You click this one over here, right? And then you're going to go at the end to the special shops, and this is the Forbidden Dungeon shop. Now you're gonna see that this one over here gives you all the rewards that you can, but again, you're gonna want to buy the flame relics, which are, you know, there's only 10 per month over here. So because they're limited, buy them. Same thing with the pedestal. But I'm gonna do a more dedicated video on the shops later on. So I guess again, keep an eye out on the channel, because you know I'm gonna try and do a guide, or like the best guides I can possibly do on every single area of the game. Now the plaza fountain is simple, pretty straightforward. You level it up, and this one generates XP for you every single time. I guess now let's cover one of the last things of the game. One of them is like power up guide. Pretty much keep an eye on this, because you're gonna have missions, right? Daily, weekly, monthly. Make sure you do all of these daily, all of them, because they give you a ton of good resources. And same thing for the weekly ones and the monthly ones. Try to make sure to complete them. On the same line, we have the Knight's Pass, which honestly is pretty good value. The basic one, you know, you have to use nothing, buy nothing just to do this. But then we have the Commander one. I suggest you buy this one only when you know you are guaranteed to hit level 30, right? If you make sure you do all the daily ones, all the daily missions, and the season missions, if you complete all of these, you should easily get there. But you might not have, you know, let's say you lose 2-3 days, I think you're okay. If you lose more than those days, you might not be able to finish it. However, the caveat is you can purchase levels, right? One level 150, 2 level 300, and so on. So it's definitely worth it, because for 2000 crystals, you get yourself a ton of summons, right? As an example, just the rate up summons or the special summons cost 1500 crystals. And we're getting 10 of these. We're also going to get 10 of the special summons. Then we're going to have to get some normal ones. So it's 100% worth it to buy it. And I guess now let's move over to the last part, which is going to be the stamina, the campaign, and the restricted areas and farming. The number one priority after you focus on the, on the campaign to slowly start and push it, number one priorities are going to be the Plane of Beasts, because this is where you farm the materials for ascending people. But I guess this one's number two. Number one is gonna be the Burning Land, Gorgos. This is the most important one, because this is the one that gives you the most gold in the game. And you're gonna need, like I mentioned, a ton of gold. You're always gonna run out of gold, so you always wanna have Burning Land pushed to the highest level possible. So again, Burning Land first, Plane of Beasts second. Then once you're gonna start unlocking Frozen Plain, is gonna be important, because this is for leveling up and advancing your relics. And obviously Shrine of Storms, the last one, this is going to be for awakening your relics. And then when we're talking about the gear dungeons, well, as far as you can push in these dungeons, as the last one for Keepsake opens only a lot later. There's another thing in the game that's, you know, favorite dungeon. This one is as they open, as you have a team for it, you're just going to go ahead and, you know, see what you can farm. And this is what's going to allow you to awaken your characters so that you can start using on the Keepsakes, which are pretty much belts, orbs, and then banner when you have 6-star awaken. This is another important area of the game. And while we're talking about this, I also want to mention one area over here that do not forget about it. Forbidden Dungeon is something that goes on over a month. You can push levels every single day. You get 5 tickets every single day, but let's say you beat one stage, right? After you beat one stage, if you cannot advance and you're stuck to the next one, make sure you're going to clear them. You get 5 tickets every day, you go there, fight, and then you're going to have a button over here that says auto clear. You know what, let me just try and beat this stage for you and see if I can show you, because again, it's really important. I forgot the first few days to check it, and I pretty much lost on a lot of important resources, and you do not want to do that, right? You want to try and get as many free resources as you can every single day, and by not clicking on that auto clear, you're losing out. You're missing out on resources. See, I get gold, you get resources, then you also get a Forbidden Dungeon tokens. Now let me show you exactly what I meant by this. See, I beat it. I can click auto clear. I can go like this and just select auto clear. I'm obviously not going to do this, and you shouldn't do it unless you're stuck. If you're not stuck, push as much as you can and only then start auto clearing. Like for example, I'm going to push 2, 3, 4, 5, and then at 5, boom, I get 5 more Forbidden Dungeon tickets. So you always keep advancing to the highest stage, and only after that you're going to click on that auto clear. Now, why? Because we're talking about the Forbidden Dungeons and we were talking about the restricted areas, right? Also the normal dungeons. I want to mention something really, really important when it comes to stamina. right? So you see this one over here, right? The level up. Every time you level up, your stamina is going to go to the maximum cap that you have. However, if you're overflowing with stamina, you're going to lose out on stamina. Leveling up is not going to give you nothing. So try to always be efficient with the stamina you collect. Don't collect stamina just because you have a red dot, because you're going to miss out. You're going to miss out on a ton of stamina by doing that. So as an example, if I have 195 stamina now, and then I do a run and I level up, it's gonna get me to 205, all right, 206, so pretty much I only get, what, 10 stamina. However, if I'm this close to 0 from here, then it's going to be more efficient. And the way that you can calculate it, if you want to keep an eye on this, pretty much 1 stamina used is the equivalent of 10 points over here, right? So if we do a little bit of a quick math just to show you what I mean, the 13,406 is what I need, and I have 10,155. So which means I need 3,305 more points to level up. If I split this by 10, that means 330 stamina. After I use 300 and I guess 31 stamina, I'm gonna level up and I'm gonna get a full stamina bar. Keep that in mind. And while we're talking about stamina, if you want to be efficient, at least the way that you can buy it, you have 2 lots of stamina that you can buy daily with 50 crystals. They give you 100. Then you're gonna have 3 with 100 crystals. That is gonna give you 100 stamina. And then after that it goes to 150. I have not bought the 150 ones because they're extremely expensive. They're not really worth it. I usually just buy the 250 ones daily because from my point of view, they're efficient. And keep in mind, I'm fully free to play, right? Fully free to play. But I think I pretty much covered everything, right? I tried to be as efficient and as to the point as I could, but I'm gonna have more dedicated, more, in-depth guides on all of the other, all areas of the game. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. Ask me, if you want me to do specific dungeons, specific teams, specific areas, just let me know and I'm gonna make a video on them. Also, keep in mind, I already have videos, like I said, I have like top 9 rares, which I believe to be really good. I have a video on some of the main story fights, like the 10-7, which is extremely hard. I have a video on Penvid. So I'm gonna still try and cover most of these videos, but most of the stuff where I got stuck while I was progressing from 29 days ago, I made a video on it. So make sure to go check that one out. But anyway, I think this pretty much covers it. I guess let me talk one more thing. Let me talk about the event dungeon. I have not touched it yet, but I want to talk about one quick thing, okay? So the event dungeon, if you go over here, it has an event shop. This one can give you Guinevere's Flame Relic Shard, okay? I would say don't buy this, right? Like, I don't know, I didn't know this personally, but my wife, Susie Plays, told me, you get this from the, what's it called? You get this from the Adventure Chapter 10. You can get it for free. So don't waste the points, right, the event celebration tokens on buying this, because you're gonna get it for free, and dupe relics are useless. You're not gonna use dupe relics. I guess let me clarify one more thing since we're talking about that. When we're talking about chivalry, right, this is kind of leveling up of your characters. Once you get to the max, if you get more copies of them, you're not going to use them for anything. Same principle with the relics. Once you have the relic of the one that you need, right? Once you have the flame, frost, and storm, if you get another storm relic, you're not going to use it for nothing. So what you can do for that is, let me click that. Let me see what I can go actually. Let me go to a different character, because there is the shop that is called the Shard Shop, okay? Click over here like this, source info, Shard Shop. This is the only way you can access it. And you can see over here, you're gonna have heroes every single week that you can choose and buy. You're gonna have relics that you can buy, right, every single week. Look at these, see what you want, see what helps you, and only buy them. But then if you have, like I said, dupes of relics that you don't use, go ahead and sell them so you can purchase some other stuff. But always keep an eye out that you actually have, or that you actually need those ones, because otherwise you're just gonna waste a ton of these resources for something that you don't really need. But yeah, I think now I pretty much covered everything. If I missed stuff, I'm just gonna make another video on it. Again, let me know in the comments down below if there's anything else you want me to make a video on, and I will gladly do that. But yeah, thank you all for watching, guys, and as always, if you do enjoy my content, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel to see when I upload next, and I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care, everyone. Bye, guys.
Fight with honor. Vanquish the wicked, and you may prove worthy of your legacy.